was one Void. But that begs the question. Yesterday, I think twice or three times we saw support Void come out. What's the chances, John?
I'm not sure if those chances are high when you have such a prolific Void player like Savage. It doesn't feel like the easiest faces Void game for him as a core, though. I'm just looking at the Batrider and the Beast, Primal Beast. The Batrider in lane, the faces Void theoretically has a decent time. With Time Walk, you can kind of just shrug off the damage the Batrider might want to do, assuming it's off lane for Force. Lelouch has played a very mean mid Batrider as well. I don't know if you'd want it support. Like a support duo of Undying and Faces Void sounds pretty hard to pull off. Like there isn't much big playmaking or setting up that these two heroes can do outside of, say, maybe the Chrono on Faces Void. So a support duo of that here just doesn't feel great. At the same time, picking this Faces Void early on does provide a lot of counters for Polaris. You can see Talon, they're forced to ban out the Venge. There's some options here for Polaris if they want to dip into it. They could still fit something like, say, Oracle Hard 5 could be one way. They could try for maybe something like the Shaker, which we have seen core Void struggle, especially if you use the Time Walk to initiate. So it's not all clear for Talon. Again, it's a very early place to lock in Void. The only time we've seen that was from yesterday, from Army Geniuses, where Norman did run it twice. Really the one time we saw the core Void from DP, it did face those issues there, Mike.
Yeah, 5 seconds left now.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to have to wait out some final bans here, or rather, the midway bans before we can continue. John, it begs the question as well. Like, I just kind of said that there was, only 2 first phase bans allowed, and, you can only ban so many heroes. I think I was hearing some pros talk about it as well recently, but do you feel like it's about time that the drafting style changes and we up it to, say, 3 first phase bans? Because it feels like there's too many good heroes now.
Honestly, if you think back to before this change, back to the, what was it, 3 or 4 bans first phase, it felt too limiting. I do personally prefer 2 bans first phase and just kind of allowing some of those broken heroes through. It makes it a little bit more exciting. I know teams do not want to deal with that, but it does. I feel, in my mind, it provides for the viewers a more exciting game because, you don't instantly get all of this cheese banned out. You don't instantly get your strongest heroes on either team banned out. You've always got the option to kind of pick and protect. And that just makes it more exciting. I mean, I recall like maybe in 2017, 2018, when you had these prolonged first phase bans and then the pick and ban order was just kind of different. It did feel a little bit more predictable because by the first phase, you're only left with, none of the strongest heroes. So you're probably maybe here and there a team would let one slide through on first phase and they try to counteract it. But it would kind of lead to more bog standard drafts. Now, there is a little bit of coalescence. Like all these drafts kind of go into the same direction, but there is more variety from the first phase because of this style.
It's very fair, John. I guess that is a good point, right? Like screw the pro players. We want entertaining matches. You don't get 3 bans. You get 2. You're gonna like it whether you like it or not. Too bad. I like your thinking, Jonathan. I don't know where I was going with that. Well, I'm thinking of the pros all of a sudden. That's terrible. My goodness, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, I mean, I respect her opinion, right? Like, it is a headache. That first phase is much more delicate than it used to be. You have to figure out what you want to do. You tend to have to pick up a core flex now just to ensure that you can kind of adjust on the spot. I love the adjustment here from Polaris as well. Speaking about that, we see the Phoenix come out. And specifically in that Army Geniuses match up against Lilgun, we saw that Phoenix as a counteraction to the Faces Void. Like the Sunray healing is there, the attack speed slow is going to be annoying, the egg outside Chrono with a BKB piercing stun is always going to be a massive issue, and Talon doesn't have a straightforward way of clearing out that Phoenix. You see the respect bans from Polaris taking care of the Snapfire, one of the big heroes that Talon loves to run in the support, that just machine guns through that Phoenix egg. So you don't have a straightforward answer for that Supernova when it does come out.
And that's kind of crazy, right? Because, like, you'd love a Snapfire into the Undying to get rid of the Tombstone. But it seems like they're going to fight fire with fire here. It's like, okay, you've got a Tombstone, fine. We'll pick Phoenix, we'll pop Egg, we'll see who takes out who. Right. It's like the Snapfire is the one answer to both problems, and neither team's going to have it. And in we go, Jonathan. This is very surprising. And Nyx Assassin to pop out now. One of your personal favorites. Also the Puck mid to come out. Much more bog standard.
10
but
seconds
John,
to pick
the
your hero,
Nyx Assassin.
moron.
Why has this come out? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah,
It's really good against all their heroes. Like, it'll stop the Primal Beast from trampling over you once you pop the Spike Carapace. Really easy to cancel off Sunray and anything the Phoenix wants to do outside of Egg. Really easy to stop the Bat Rider from running off as well. So it kind of ties into that. It's really good control. It stops a lot of these channeled spells. Even the Primal Beast, like pre-BKB, he's not going to be able to pulverize that much as long as this Nyx is around with Spike Carapace. Like, you will be able to just cancel off. And I like that Talon to go into the Mikado Puck, because when you see Primal Beast and Phoenix, which are leaning towards the support duo right now, although there is room to still flex the Primal Beast as, say, the Nico hero here, the Force hero on the offlane, there's not much hard hold for the Puck. Like, you have Blink Lasso down the line, but Blink's not an early priority for Bat Rider. We tend to see Travel's BKB before the Blink for a lot of mid players, if that is Lelouch's hero. So there's not much to really stop Mikado from jumping in and out. And Polaris just go into the Natsumi Morphling. So laning wise, it shouldn't be too bad. It is a decent core-to-core matchup against the Faceless Void. You can still kind of sprint morph right before the Chrono flies out. There's enough time to kind of get that done. The Nyx is there to burn your mana, but it's not like you have the highest int in the world, so you're not losing as much mana as well. And this can make it tough for the side of Talon to kind of find that pause one. Like, if Natsumi's quick enough, the Chrono might not amount to much besides some smaller pickoffs here.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, final bans to come here before we can finish off these drafts. John, I don't mean to start the drama early, right? I realize Talon has to win out this series and T1 would have to win out this series for us to get that matchup, right? The T1 versus Talon matchup in the upper bracket. But couldn't help but notice, Jonathan, Makoto had some words to say about T1 prior to the qualifiers starting that have been circulating around
really
as of late, saying that he believes if Talon had to go up against T1, they would win outright. And that apparently Anna and Thompson would have chemistry issues with the rest of T1. So if that matchup happens, there's going to be some very, very spicy kind of games going on, I think. I'm sure the side of T1 seen those words being said, very strong words by Makoto. Obviously, he was just trying to answer a question, but you get my point, John. This is SCA. You can't talk without backing it up. And we might get the pleasure of seeing that matchup later on.
Entire team, pick it good.
It's definitely a possibility. And it's pretty damn exciting to see it later on. They have to beat Polaris first. And again, with Talon's performance being a little bit inconsistent, it's hard to say. Last time they met in Hatyai, that's pretty much the only win Talon found in the best of one groups up against Polaris. And
really
that was Polaris that brought 5 games to boom. So maybe they've got the answers here. It still feels pretty confident in this draft to go for the first phase Void and to have it go against this Morphling, which is going to be annoying. We do still have a last pick left. It does look like Polaris are just defending this Morphling pick. They're blocking off Dawnbreaker for the instant response. They're blocking off the AA to ensure the Morphling Strength Morph is still going to be effective. It does beg the question as to what they're looking for. It maybe feels like they're looking for a Q hero with Hyde taking something like the Nyx. Nyx faces Void Lane isn't that good. But then again, Nyx Undying Lane also isn't that good. For Q heroes, Enchantress is left. They go with Skyrat Mage.
Woo.
So it comes out, and this is something we've seen Lilgun run up against, I believe, Talon the first day, where it didn't feel as impactful. I'm keen to see if Talon actually makes it work, because it feels like when you start falling behind in the Skyrat, the hero really just doesn't contribute, especially as the game drags on with BKBs coming out. The hero just doesn't survive unless you get the shard. Even with the shard, the added armor, it's nice. It does need a lot of spell spam for you to really hit a good amount of armor. I feel like you do have, I mean, just the threat of Morphling onto the sky. If you manage to jump him, even without a shotgun, that Skyrat's probably dead. If you do manage to catch him outside vision, pre-Manta, you do have a lot of openings there, but that's a very specific and small timing that Talon have to play with.
No, that's very fair, John. Skyrath's definitely not going to have a very good time against this morph, that's for sure. Because the Void Skyrath combo, though, like you mentioned, is probably going to be quite potent as the Tide Hunter comes out. That's something a little bit new. We haven't seen so much of this during the qualifier. I can appreciate it, though. They were lacking a little bit of team fight, I would argue, on the side of Polaris Esports. So they'll go ahead and pick that one up. Force will take the offlane tide. It looks like it's going to be the position 4 Primal Beast coming up for Xavius. Exciting times, John. This will be game 1 between Polaris Esports and, of course, Talon Esports. And I'll ask you straight off the bat, the drafts are finished. Forget the teams. Who came out with the better draft?
Better draft? I would probably lean towards Polaris. I like the aggression we're seeing coming out from them. I like the lanes coming out, like Tidehunter versus Faces Void feels really good for Force to slow down Savage's farm. Void, I mean, Savage is a great Void player, but
5 seconds, Morty.
Void does take some time to build up. We've been seeing a lot of Midas Void, Midas Maelstrom. You're not going to be doing a lot of damage in that Chrono. You're going to need a lot of space out. Polaris, you could argue the same thing goes for Natsumi, but the rest of the team, especially Xavius and this Primal Beast, it just feels like they're going to be ready to be aggressive. And that's something Talon has to kind of temper themselves around. It feels like all the pressure on Talon's end is on KP. If he has a good lane and he manages to get this early presence on the Undying, start to force some fights around himself, then that's where the space comes out for Savage. Mikado can kind of follow through with KP once he has, say, his Witchblade travels. And you can kind of get aggressive. Like, you still have this good support combination from Talon of Skywrath Mage and Nyx, but again, the window for that support is pretty short. I'd say the first 20 minutes is when that support duo feels great. Past that point, once the first few BKBs come on, it becomes a lot harder to really get value from that control and damage.
There's my favorite smile in the whole of SEA Dota, Q. Lovely, lovely smile from Q. Always a happy guy. Like, did he just dye his hair? I can't even tell. I could have sworn his hair was brown the other day, John. Yeah. Did Q just dye his... No. Did he just bleach his hair?
It was that color. It was that color yesterday, I believe. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Just looks a bit brighter. Maybe the lights are a little better, you know? It did look darker, but I think the lighting was...
He's a good-looking lad. And speaking of hair, I can appreciate the fact that AU's had the same hair for ever since I've seen him, Jonathan. Fantastic haircut. It's a timeless haircut there from AU. You never get rid of that.
It's a classic cut. It's a cut that we all had back in the days. We all had back in the days. You'd see that all over the net cafes. All over the net cafes. A bit of a pause. A bit of a pause. Absolutely. A bit of a pause here, so we're going to be stuck staring at our lovely players. Maybe take this time, Mikey. I want you to predict. Mikey, I want you to predictions here. We've got it on hand. We've got it on hand.
Well, I don't mean to show off, but I was 3 out of 4 yesterday, so I suppose I will take a turn to predict here, Jonathan. Play with the highest net worth by 25 minutes. Ooh, I'm thinking Natsumi or Savage for sure. These guys, both of them are so good. I feel like Natsumi's... Oh, I'm going to go Savage, because you're going to get Maelstrom Midas, right? So I'll go Savage. Will Italo be killed by 10 minutes? No. No, it will not. Player who gets the longest kill streak will be... Tsumi and Savage again, John. It's hard for me to decide between these two. Because I don't know which team's going to win this. I truly don't. This will be a close one. I'm going to say Savage, only because I went for the net worth highest by 25. Will Italo be denied?
Oh my
no.
God.
No, no.
All right. There you go. All right. We will find out soon enough. We will find out. I think a tower will be denied. Otherwise, tower will be denied, and maybe Mikado gets the longest kill streak. Beyond that, every other point there, Mike. I'm sticking with your stuff. Though. It's your prediction. It's your prediction. We'll go with it as well. Did have some alt chat. I don't think we caught that. We had a little bit of a pause. Lots of alt chat coming out. Both sides again have played with each other a lot. They run into each other in pubs a lot. There's something about Natsumi asking Savage if he could fly for some reason. And Savage said yes, go to UDV with him. I'm like, what? Now it's Xerxia? Or do you actually mean just going to UDV randomly into Bangkok for some reason? I mean, no problem saying hi, I'm sure. No problem saying hi. You know, these guys are funny, especially the Polaris boys. They are very funny lads. They are very funny lads. If you check their Facebook, they have some really weird posts. Boomy is just one hell of a shitposter. That's all I can say about that. That's all I can say about that.
This place goes ham.
What's your damn language there, Jonathan? My goodness, how rude. Shout out to Polaris, by the way, John. They did send us a jersey, or at least I received mine. I haven't managed to take a photo yet, but I'll hey, hold it. You can wait, Jonathan. They sent it to the important guy, right? The guy that matters got it. Anyway, Talon, We'll see if they find level 1 here. Balloons have been thrown out. Force Lelouch, they're going to try and fight with Hyde on that Skyrath, and we'll be able to bully him away.
Blowing that stupid
Bottom
horn?
lane, same thing happening. Top side, Xavier showed up, won't be able to steal it from Savage, so it is going to be a 2-for-2 trade. Been kind of starting between these two teams, and we will start with the mid lane once again. Of course, you're going to have Makoto on his puck against Lelouch on his signature Batrider here, John. Puck versus Batrider, who do you give the advantage over to?
I'd say it's not too bad for Puck. I'd say it's not too bad. Batrider we tend to see has some clearing out a little bit early on, in the laning phase, like in the laning phase, like a couple of stacks of napalm up. Mikado already has napalm up stick as you can to up against the mid Batrider. Lelouch should still be able to get some good damage. Mikado will have to temper himself around. Maybe rift down the line if he wants a value point. So there is a window there for Lelouch to actually get aggressive. In terms of trading, a lot of trading for Mikado. A lot for Lelouch. So as long penetrates favorably and hits his level 3 mark with the level 2 mark napalm. The lane does become a lot harder for Mikado. At least he can fill up his body easier. Whether or not he has room to do that, with the support Polaris remains to be seen. Because you have a primal beast that can run around early.
Certainly do. Speaking of bot lane, of course, KP and Q going to be against AU and Natsumi. I said speaking of, John, Primal Beast is top lane, though never mind that. Bot lane is where we're looking for now. Talon, with the Pos 3 Undying, how do you feel about that against the Morphling and AU's Phoenix? Like, do you think they can dominate this lane with this Pos 3 Undying, or should it go the other way?
I think it's all right. Every time Natsumi wants to go full agi, I think it's odd Waldo. He had 10 minus 8 strength. He's got to keep some strength shift on hand. That means his last hitting's not good. You are getting presence out from KP in that sense. Once he does have the level, so you could try to be aggressive as well, though, with how tanky the Undying is. It does feel like you're best off with maybe a Sunray up. Q's already a good response to that. With, of course, the spike characters down the line. And I think when it comes down to it, Natsumi's probably not going to die, but he's also not going to see us that much because of this lane.
Of course, that final lane as well. Top lane, you're going to have Force there on that position 3 Tide. He'll be alert there with Xavius on the Primal Beast Pos 4. You'll have Savage and Hyde against the 2. This feels like one of those lanes that could go either way. Maybe a bit more of a farmy lane between these two teams. Because with the Primal Beast in your lane, it's always kind of scary, but it is a Pos 4 Beast, and with the Tide Hunter to try and play with, chances are you aren't going to have too much kill potential against the Pos 1 Void. Maybe if you catch out Hyde, I would argue it's a much easier kill, but Hyde's doing a really good job of just sitting back and not allowing himself to get out of position.
Yeah, he's just standing back, trading where he can, not really trying to force the issue. And that's important. This guy just melts in this lane. If a gush comes out, Hyde is more than likely just dead with the onslaught follow-up. So, gotta stay back a lot more. Savage is farming a lot better in comparison to Natsumi. Still not the freeze lane. This is a Tide Hunter lane. This is a Polaris has a better time, but Polaris has a better stopping him from getting that build-up either.
Certainly not. Fight over that bot lane. Mean too much. Makoto's farming very well on this puck right now, by the way. John 19-4 on the mid puck against Lelouch, 16-3 on the Batrider. Still a very even matchup, but Makoto doesn't seem too concerned about the Batrider's presence here. And Puck should have a decent time getting away every single time, as long as he does have the orb up. Not too concerned about Lelouch making a jump in with the Firefly. Maybe once you have Lasso, but before that stage, Makoto, he seems like he's going to be just fine to free farm. Top lane. Xavius. Bit of a chase going on. Savage, he doesn't actually have Bash leveled up, so he can't hold Xavius down. And now the turnaround with the onslaught onto Hyde. That is so much damage from Xavius. 2 hits is all he got, but it was too much damage. Savage going to try and turn around on Xavius, but again, without the Bash, you haven't really got a chance of locking this man down. He's going to be all right.
I don't mind us too much. I don't mind us too much. Heal up on Savage. There's no big threat on Hyde. Mainly because Savage does have that value point. Time dilation instead. When you see the onslaught, and slow, and with the additional slow from the concussive, actually chasing the sky is a tough prospect. They are playing this lane a lot more defensively, but it's not something that the offensive players can really pierce readily just yet.
Certainly not. I mean, it's one of those things. Force might just kind of say, hey, I'd just rather secure farm right now anyway. You know, it seems like Savage is actually behind in CS as well, so Force is doing a decent job of just kind of keeping Savage a bit a bit less farmed than he should be. Speaking of being less farmed, Natsumi's really less farmed here, 12-3 in terms of CS. The Untying Pos 3 from KP really turning out to be very potent so far during the laning stage, as you'd kind of expect. 25-11 is the scoreline of the CS for KP. Just really focusing in on the denies here on that Undying and doing a great job of it. Natsumi, he's not having a good time whatsoever.
It just goes back to that weird dynamic where if you do go strength more, Agimorph here, or Natsumi, he has no absolutely no HP because absolutely no reductions coming out. He can't afford to really go all in to try to last hit. And that just means KP has an easier time denying, KP has an easier time controlling up. And have to see how well Natsumi recovers down the line, buying him out in space, considering the slow restart, considering especially in comparison to Savage, like everyone else is tied in fairly evenly here.
That Impel ends up missing there from Q. Maybe you would have been able to set up for something onto Natsumi had you landed that, but I suppose Natsumi would have had the waveform anyway. Mid lane, a bit of a group up. Both teams fighting over those 6-minute power rune timings. They are going to get unlucky on Talon Esports. Polaris, they will be able to get lucky with the bot rune and do pick up a haste, and immediately Lelouch is going to TP down bot to try and deal with KP here on this Undying. He has not leveled up Tombstone or Soul Rip yet. KP, he will eventually do so and try to fight back. Natsumi is doing the exact same thing, and here comes Q with the Spine Carapace and the Impel trying to put a hold to Lelouch, but he is not giving up. KP will get chased down to the ends of the earth, and they will secure the Pos 3 Undying. First blood to the Batrider.
That's a big kill. Timely rotation out to just open up Natsumi's lane. Best rune you could possibly ask for there as well. Just a nice haste allows you to run over. Allows you to stop that really outside of stun. And then one stun is even enough. Even with the spike carapace follow up. Lelouch just has his way with him. So a good start. For Polaris to find that bonus. Hyde trying to play poke a bit. Doesn't have the ancient seal. Can't really combine to really damage. He did have Savius around to protect.
Aguanta regularmente el daño mágico. Por allí con intenciones de ese Scrub Mage de rotar, ¿no? De generar problemas en medio, pero no consigue mucho.
For Natsumi, it's not unplayable. Just kind of hang back, stalls out long enough. You should be able to farm the void. Again, faces void, not the fastest farm in the world.
Take that. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Rest and burn. Oh, Dire's courier got killed. Are you kidding me? Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack! Dire's top tower is under attack.
Fortune is mere fantasy.
Invisibility! A prize is...
Oh, Radiant's middle tower is under attack!
I soared so briefly.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As foretold.
Not my problem, but Dire's top tower just fell. That force field leads me to believe that Dire just fortified their structure.
Hasta luego.
And go are linked.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Man, you might as well save that energy because Radiant just fortified their structures. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Way to go! Radiant's bottom tower is completely gone! Dire's top tower is under attack. Haste!
Hide this body well.
watch out! It's a killing spree!
Where'd you go?
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Huh. Dire's middle tower. It's gone. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Dire's middle tower is under attack. Those little rascals are hitting Dire's bottom tower. Oh my god! Four in a row! He's now dominating! He's dominating, Rick!
Haste!
Whoa! Initiating killing spree mode.
Denied!
A prize.
Thanks.
tower is under attack! Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Dire's top tower is under attack. Ooh, Dire, you gotta fortify them, their structures. Good work. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Dire's top tower is under attack. You know, Morty, it sometimes feels like they don't even care. I wonder what they're gonna build where Dire's top tower used to be. Radiant's middle tower is under attack! Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack! Oh, Rick! He's dominating now! He's dominating! Oh, Radiant's middle tower is under attack! Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack! Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack! Oh, great. Dire's bottom tower just got destroyed! Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack! Whoa, Dire's bottom tower is under attack! Oh, jeez, Morty, they're going after Dire's bottom tower! Dire's courier, he bit the big one. There's a job opening, in case anyone's interested. Courier.
¡Hasta luego!
Oh por Dios！这一把要一战成神，打你们5个。
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Illusion!
Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower just took a big beating. It's gone. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack! Dire's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack!
Ability!
Mega kill. He just mega killed.
Time to hibernate.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Behold!
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Put some rope work.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Bounty!
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, man. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack!
Here I am.
Jeez, he's dominating!
Double kill, oh man.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack! Radiant's middle tower is destroyed! Things are getting dire!
Ooh, nice, Morty. Good one. Oh boy, Tire's bottom tower's getting hit.
Wait, no, hold on! He's unstoppable!
Oh, Tire's bottom tower's under attack.
Behold! Stay near.
Oh my gosh, Morty.
He's from Boston because he's wicked and
They're going
sick!
after Tire's bottom tower now. I'm marking this in my journal. It's a day to remember. There was a monster killed.
They killed all these people, Morty. That means they're godlike. attack! Radiant just fortified their structures! You know what I'm talking about? Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Couldn't do much about Radiant's bottom tower, could you?
Silence. Behold!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack! Oh man, what? Get up on out of here, because Radiant just fortified their
Dire's top
structures!
tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Over here!
Hasta luego. ¡Ay, mía!
终于等到你。
Death and gold are linked.
Behold!
Boy, Morty, you know that roast guy just got sold by Tires. He owed me money. Tires bottom tower is under attack.
Rogue wave carries me back.
Those little rats
spree. Ho!
A good Soki.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Behold!
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Way to go! Radiant's bottom tower is completely gone.
Zappa out!
Morty, who was that?
I don't know. It's pretty tight. Oh man, this guy's dominating.
Oh, mega kill. Double kill.
All I do.
Greetings! Sacrifice! Behold!
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's courier got killed. You know how much stuff he was carrying?
There ain't silence! Tia!
Dire's bottom tower's destroyed.
Invisibility.
Whoa, Dire's bottom tower's under attack. Oh, Dire's bottom tower's under attack. Oh boy, Dire's bottom tower's getting hit. Those little rascals are hitting Dire's bottom tower. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Oh, great. Dire's bottom tower just got Dire's bottom barracks just they've seen better days.
Oh boy, somebody called trouble.
Dire's
He's
bottom
here
barracks
already.
are hit, and they're done.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like Dire's structures are fortified.
Jeez, Radiant's middle tower just got wrecked. Oh! Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Behold.
Oh, Dyer's carrier just got killed.
Tis mine.
¡Hasta luego! Haste!
Radiant just fortified their structures. You know what I'm talking about? Radiant's bottom barracks are really taking a licking. Come on, Radiant's top barracks are getting attacked. I didn't think Radiant's bottom barracks would go that quick. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's middle tower is destroyed.
Whoa, Ori, I've been across the cosmos and I've seen a ton of different realities, and let me tell you, this is definitely not a remarkable moment at all, in any way, shape, or form.
Radiant's middle barracks are getting hit. Oh boy, Radiant's middle barracks are getting attacked. Ooh, Radiant's middle barracks. Huh? What a joke. Radiant's middle barracks are as good as gone.
Here I am. Silence. Okay. Here I am.
Time is money.
Greetings, silence.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
My presence.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Silence. Hut out.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh,
Well,
mega
looks
kill.
like we got ourselves a triple kill here, Rick.
Morty, quit acting like a detective.
Oh, Radiant's top tower
Dire
is under
just
attack.
won. Morty.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Don't begrudge me. Invisibility. Rises will someday fall.
Ooh, Dire, you gotta fortify them, their structures. Good work.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is fallen. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, killing spree. Oh, everyone bow down. Oh, accident. It was an accident, I bet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Must
under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You are learning the ways of dying.
Double
the
kill.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Killing spree. Whoa! Wubba lubba dub dub.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Oh man, what? Get up on out of here, cause Radiant just fortified their structures. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Rick, he's dominating now. He's dominating. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Double kill. Oh man. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Double kill.
Well-gotten gains.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mark these words. They're the last you will hear.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh boy, killing spree.
Way to go. Radiant's bottom tower is completely gone.
Oh, Morty. Uh-oh. You better hold on to your hat because now it's a mega kill. That's 5, baby. 5. There's no accident anymore.
Radiant's middle
this isn't an
tower is under
accident
attack.
now.
Jeez, Radiant's middle tower just got wrecked. Oh, jeez, he's dominating. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Couldn't do much about Radiant's bottom tower, could you? Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Silence.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Oh, own it.
Undefended.
Holy crap, Ricky's unstoppable.
Oh, own it. Oh my gosh, Morty.
He's from Boston because he's wicked sick. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Many things so beautiful.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Quiet's magic.
Whoa, mega kill. Own it. He just mega killed.
Insane and hatred.
Oh, own it. Dire's courier. He bit the big one. Dire team ban.
Woo, Radiant team ban.
Name him the MVP after that game one, but the Void just proving to be so powerful. Speaking of powerful, though, that Primal Beast, Xavier's, he was doing so much work, man. He tried so hard. That rock throw into the Ravage and the Aegis Steel, that was just absolutely splendid to watch from Polaris Esports, but it just didn't prove to be enough. They'll follow up with a Lich as well here on Polaris's end. John, talk to me about the mentality of Polaris right now. After a game like that, 66 minutes, you end up losing game one. Such a close affair. You can see the faces right now. I don't know if they look upset, but there's a little bit of, there's something in there. You know, you can't be happy after that game one for Polaris. What are you thinking? What's going through the minds of Polaris right now?
I feel like, again, it goes back to AU. With him, not just as coach, but as a player, he's able to directly connect with him a lot better because he's in that game. He knows what just happened. He was there with him. So he can level them out a lot more. I think after a game like that for Polaris, you know, there's some games where you lose and you feel like absolutely terrible. There's some games where you lose and you're like, we did pretty damn well. Let's reset. We can do it in the next game. And I think that last game was one of those games for Polaris, where they're like, we did everything we could. We executed pretty damn well for most of that game. Just have a couple of issues to fix up. And that should motivate them. I think after a game like that, I feel like Polaris should be able to actually look at that, realize, all right, Talon actually made so many mistakes that we could have capitalized on. We just need to force them to do that again and realize those mistakes and close it out. And I'm sure the guiding voice of AU will kind of help them plan around that here.
Let's see, Doom coming out as well, a hero we have not seen as of late, but obviously very potent in the current meta as well. The new Ags upgrade proving to be very, very effective against a hero like Void as well. You'd love having Doom. Force him to buy that Lincoln Sphere later on here on Savage. Doom coming out quite a potent pick, I would argue, here from Polaris Esports, and a nice switch up for their draft, that's for sure. Again, though, you do have the option of running support Void. You know, that's still available to run if you do wish, if you want to flex it that way. Not that I'm saying that is going to be what happens, because Savage loves playing the Void, but you never know. You could still make that happen if you want.
Yeah, it does feel like, and you've got answers for the Void once more, but Talon just doesn't seem to mind. In fact, it feels like they just prioritize the Void because it gets second phase banned. So they just kind of pick it up. They want to give Savage the hero he really excels on. I think, again, you look at Polaris and their opening back into the Primal Beast with the Lich. The Doom just makes it hellish for Savage once more. And we have seen some Dooms go for different builds. Like, we have seen Infernal Blade actually rise up in priority. You can also just devour a nice mana burn creep, removing Savage's saving presence with a Time Walk. There's a lot of ways to play that lane for Polaris if they want. And there is still some flexibility on the Doom, as we have seen safe lane Doom come out here and there, although the off lane Doom does feel more popular now with a build up. So keen to see where they go from there. I like that they do respect ban this Mikado puck, because it, as you and I pointed out, Mikado just felt like the big factor that allowed Talon to actually take that game late. And he just played like a madman. He was picking off people, forcing these fights to be very spread out while the rest of his team gathered attention on themselves, and they had no hard hold. They have to respect that out. They also take out the Batrider themselves here on Polaris, and Talon do pick up the Dazzle. So that should be our Hyde hero. You do have good saves coming out onto the Void. Hyde did a pretty damn good job with the silences, and we didn't really see a Book of Shadows play, but kind of the same mindset now with the Dazzle. With the Shallow Grave, you should be able to enable Savage. In fact, a lot of your lineup feels like it's just there to help this Face's Void this time around. Marcy Sidekick's gonna help. You don't have that much damage going into the Chrono. Right now, you only have this Quap for Mikado, but you have a lot of ways of making Savage feel stronger and safer in that Chrono when it does come out.
Absolutely. You certainly do. There's the Kunkka coming out now for Polaris, so a real big switch up coming out here. So the Kunkka very good against the Queen of Pain, not only during the laning stage, but having the X back against Quap and Void is always going to be very, very effective throughout this game, especially before they have those BKBs up, or even catching out heroes like the Marcy and the Dazzle going to be very effective there with the X up from the Kunkka. So I think that's a very, very strong pick coming out from Polaris Esports, and you'd have to agree, John, a lot of value for the Kunkka this game.
Yeah, like the saving factor with the boat buff is big. Have to hold something mobile like the Morrissey or the Quap is going to be really good as well. And that does give you a good lane match. We have seen Quap against Kunkka, and Lelouch has played a lot of mid Kunkka all the way back to his Adroit days. It's something he specializes in almost to the same extent that we know Yopaj does. And the Quap Kunkka lane is pretty Kunkka favorite. Quap doesn't have that much presence there. You can play with Shadow Strike. Tidebringer just kind of owns that lane. So I think they're setting themselves up for a better game here on Polaris. But just by slowing Mikado down, you do have a better time. Because the Batrider lane for Lelouch up against the puck wasn't quite a win. Mikado was finding more. This time around, Lelouch should have a better time.
I go back to the point you made earlier as well, by the way, John. I mean, you pointed out AU having that kind of the presence to be able to just tell the team, like, calm down, it was a good game, let's reset and go for game number 2. And you see how stoic the man looks as well in that previous camera shot. Just does not look bothered. You almost wonder if the guy's breathing. He's just a statue, Jonathan. No feelings whatsoever from AU. Just complete composure.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see from your coach, from your captain. I mean, just allow them to reset, stay calm, figure out what you want to do. Surprised that they respect ban the Phoenix themselves. Seeing that possibility of Egg Chrono, Sunray in Chrono is pretty big. They are already assuming that KP will take the Marcy offlane, which is fair. We have seen KP play that hero since its debut in Captain's mode on the offlane. And that was when offlane Marcy felt like a little bit more of a waste. This time around, it feels a lot better, just because you have more impact with a rebound. So it allows you to focus on core items a lot faster than, say, diverging for this Blink and Aether Lens. And they will go with a Pangolier. So that should shift the Marcy now. That could be our KP here. There's some flex here. I mean, that could be a Mikado Pango, and KP takes something like the Quap offlane. So it's fairly open for them to kind of figure out whether or not they get a lot of value from the offlane Pango here.
It could even be a Quap Pos 4 if you really want, right? Like, if you wanted the Pos 3 Marcy, Quap Pos 4 seems like a pretty strong lane. And like you said, like, Pango against Kunkka might be a bit better as well for Makoto. You already kind of pointed that out. So let's see. I mean, Talon, they do have a lot of flexibility with this draft. The only thing I think we can say for sure is it's probably going to be the position 1 Void again, unless we see the Pos 1 Marcy. Highly doubt any other team apart from T1 have been practicing that, though, to be fair. So highly doubt that. I think you just go the Pos 1 Void once again. But there is certainly a lot of flexibility with every other single lane. Meanwhile, though, Polaris, one more pickup to go. They need to carry on their end of things. Against the Void, against the Quap, against the Pango, is there something that comes to mind for you, John?
Nothing that really strikes me as a very good pick. Like, they tried a Morphling last time, but it is open, and you know, it's still not that bad of a Morphling game at all. So you could maybe opt for that. You've got the Pangolier to form into, the Marcy for Morphling to turn into. You love to point out, gives you a lot more mobility. Sidekick on yourself is really nice. Wouldn't mind that too much for Natsumi. You could maybe opt for, I don't know, it's not the best Terrorblade game. It does feel like you have enough magic damage here on Talon to kind of take care of that. You could go for a more active core. You know how slow Talon wants to play, and they go with the Lone Druid. So we see the LD come out, and that has been also rising in popularity across different regions. It can be effective. We do see Mikado pick up the Pango. So the question is, yeah, KP takes the Marcy, Q will take the Quap, and we have seen Q play Quap, but that was all the way back to Motivate Trust days. So this is a bit of a throwback for him.
Certainly is. Maybe, I don't know if they're overreacting here to the draft of Polaris. I mean, again, it was a very close game 1, so I think Talon going to pay a lot of respect here to this dire side. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting, John.
They swap Force and Xavius as well. Xavius takes the Doom 4. Force plays the offlane Primal Beast here, which is, it's interesting because I felt like Force did such a great job in the 4 Primal Beast that you don't really need to have it as a core. The impact was felt from Force early on, from Xavius early on, but Xavius on the Doom, I don't know if I really like that, because the Doom as a support, sure, it still finds farm with Devour, but it feels like, you know, your Midas is going to be a little bit slower. That means your Blink BKB is slower, your Refresh is going to be really later on, and the Ags might be a bit of a pipe dream. So I think taking that utility away from the Doom by demoting it to a 4 and giving Force priority, it doesn't feel necessary, but it does allow them to be a lot more aggressive from the Primal Beast with his earlier timing, so that might be what Polaris is gunning for.
See how this one goes, Jonathan. Game number 2. I mean, game 1 was just so great to watch here between these two teams, going all the way to 66 minutes. Talon barely able to take it out. Polaris just not giving up throughout this upper bracket. This is, I must say, I mean, Polaris Esports, it's so good to see these guys like performing so well in the upper bracket. Even if they did drop that game 1, you know, they've just been such an up and down team. But it seems like when it matters, they've really shown up. Let's just see if they can show up and force us to a game 3 here against Talon Esports, because you and I, that's what we want, John. We want game 3 to come out here between these two. Of course, I know people are waiting for the T1 match. All know Oh, everyone's T1. It's coming. Don't you worry, guys. It is coming. In fact, I mean, this series might be more hype because, again,
why aren't they doing anything? They're just
Makoto
standing
had some
around.
words about T1 before the qualifiers started, so I'm sure people would love to see Talon versus T1 if it ever came to it in the upper bracket. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see if it happens. Before that, though, John, it's your turn. Predictions.
Which team will win? I'm gonna say Talon, and I know you guys have got something to say about that. Still, it's early smoke break. Maybe some action. No, not quite yet. Player with the first triple kill. I can't bet against Mikado, but I can't bet against Mikado. I still feel like Polaris will find that one though. Player with the most D wards by 15, which should lean towards Hyde. Although I feel like AU probably is actually a bit more disciplined on that. And player with the longest kill streak. Mikado had it last time. So I'm going to say Mikado again, although the Pango is not as slippery as the Puck. And we have seen Mikado kind of die a little bit more in the Pango, so
things ready, Morty.
maybe it doesn't happen, but those are my bets.
Jonathan, we appreciate that. Well, I couldn't help but notice someone was asking earlier what the players were, shaking in their hands. Those are hand warmers, for anyone not aware. They aren't tea bags, they are hand warmers, so there you go. To warm up those hands before you do get into these games. Very, very important for these pro players. As Natsumi already getting very lucky with the route there onto KP, but cannot contest the boundary rune. Will have to back his Spirit Bear out. Meanwhile, bottom side, there was a bit of a fight over that boundary rune as well, but it is going to end up being a 2-for-2 trade. This Force is really going to harass Q out before he does leave the area. Beautiful little uproar there from our Primal Beast. Let's start with that mid lane. Makoto gonna be on that mid Pango. He'll be against
Kind of
Lelouch.
poking. I'm surprised.
No.
I'm gonna have to take over here. I believe John is having some issues here, so we are gonna move into the mid lane, which is gonna be Makoto and Lelouch going at it here on the Pango versus Kunkka. Be an interesting matchup. Of course, we did mention the Quap might have a bit of an unfavorable matchup against the Kunkka during that draft stage, so they do swap out, put Makoto on the Pango instead. The Pango offering a lot of team fight as well, and just a lot better in terms of going up against the Kunkka. Kind of able to abuse the shield crash and the swashbuckle to really be able to lane against Lelouch. Of course, let's have a look at the side lanes as well. Perhaps bottom lane, you're going to have Force there on the Primal Beast, along with his Doom Xavius playing the position 4. You're going to be on the position 4 Queen of Pain. 23 Savage is going to be playing that Pos 1 Void. It does seem like a rather strong lane for either side. I'd say it does look stronger for Talon on this end of things though as well. Xavius on the Pos 4 Doom. You kind of question how much he can get done unless he finds the right creep. But now he does actually pick up that healing creep, so that creep is always interesting because you have 100 heal on a 10-second cooldown for 60 mana. And in fact, it's more like 115 heal because of the heal amplification. So it can kind of save the day for Force, and you are seeing it in action. Use it off cooldown every single time Force needs it. Keep him healthy, and maybe Q just won't have the impact he's looking for on the support Quap, because you just have constant heals flying in from Xavius. It kind of works as Force. He'll pop the uproar. Bit of harassment on Savage, but the Time Walk is going to take all that damage away. We'll have a look at that final lane as well. You're going to have the top lane. Hyde on the Dazzle. Going to be there with KP on the position 3 Marcy. Against Natsumi on the Pos 1 Lone Druid. And AU, of course, on the position 5 Lich. The Lich Lone Druid lane usually pretty darn powerful, especially because you can abuse the Frost Shield with the bear. As well as that, of course, Frost Blast also very, very strong. And you do see AU with some mangoes. Hello, Jonathan. Nice to see you back, sir. Just took a short break, did you?
Yeah, classic Southeast Asian stuff for me this time around. Good to hear at least you were unaffected. How's the game been going? I missed out a lot. 3 minutes is a long time to miss out here.
I mean, not much has happened, John. First blood hasn't been drawn. I was just discussing the top lane. If you'd like to have you put your 2 cents in here, John, I was just kind of explaining that Natsumi and AU might have a very good time at this top lane with the Lich and Lone Druid, but I suppose it goes the other way as well. Like with the Dazzle Marcy, you do have to be very careful.
And they're doing a great job on Talon to actually cut off that early CS of Natsumi. Off to a bit of a slower start. There are some good combos on hand. Just Poison Touch plus Sidekick and Rebound, of course, is really good. And you can't actually underestimate literally anyone with Sidekick, especially at level 2, level 3. The bonus damage on high, chasing down with Poison Touch, can whittle you down very quickly. So that is leading to that caution here. Like I think I heard you mention like a Frost Shield combination with Natsumi on the bear. That can happen, but it puts your bear at risk. And early levels of the bear are pretty manageable for the side of Talon, so you don't want to run that risk of bleeding gold over here.
Certainly not. Back at that mid lane for a moment, Makoto. He's having a very good time in terms of CS, but now the X is out into the torrent onto Makoto, but Hyde has rotated.
Yes.
Was around the mid-river area to secure the water rune. Let's make sure Makoto can't really get jumped too hard. Gonna give the water rune over to Makoto as well, so he does get those 2 bottle charges up. And it does seem like the lane switch up from Talon has worked out, John. Like, instead of having that mid-quap, the mid-Pango is certainly doing a pretty damn good job against Lelouch's Kunkka, which you would have assumed would have been more lane dominant, but against the Pango, not so much.
Yeah, there's more play from Mikado. He's keeping up in CS. He's managing to trade fairly well. And overall, you're pretty happy. You're not giving any opportunities for Lelouch to find that kill opportunity in the Torrents. And Tidebringer is still a big threat, but Shield Crash does allow you to play a lot better. And you can trade with the Swash a little bit more. So lots of back and forth there. I think the side of Polaris and Talon kind of expect that slow restart, although Savage.
Walk away. Onslaught is there onto Q, but he can also blink away. So one strength of this bottom lane for Talon is they do have great ways of getting away from that Primal Beast. Which is probably why you see Hyde at the top lane with his Marcy instead. Like just giving Q a way to get out of this quap. Not allowing Force to completely dominate this lane.
Yeah, now that is what you're getting out here. Like, aggression from Polaris is being cut off. Savage is farming decently, although he is starting to have the same issues Natsumi is. Not quite the first time in lane. And this time around, Natsumi's gonna have a really good time in the jungle. That is where Lone Druid can shine. Doesn't take too long to farm. Once you reach that 10 to 12 minute mark and you dip into the jungle, you will have a lot to clear out that you're not going to be able to quite match here on Savage, so that is a concern to have. You already have Savius taking some early activity, going into the jungle, getting some creeps up for himself, does steal out the Crit Wolf, and is already showing mid. Doesn't have anything like the Infernal Blade to help set up, but he might have enough damage on hand. The thing is, Rolling Thunder is up already for Mikado. Killing him off is just tougher. With your control, it's not quite there.
No, absolutely. You're not going to be able to abuse the seed creep timing, that's for sure, and it is already gone. Makoto does take care of it.
For the dead.
Mind you, Hyde, he also ends up denying off the regen rune against Lelouch, and that's going to probably put a halt to any kind of mid push as well. You can't really get too aggressive now as Polaris. Their way out, and first blood is yet to be drawn from either side. Both sides just very conservative play during this laning stage so far. There is a group up top side here from the side of Talon, but it seems like they're just hanging around together, making sure they can clear out these stacks that were made from Makoto. Tango. Decent at farming these stacks, but does need a little bit of help to just tank through it all, and Hyde will assist in that.
Yeah. Good amount of gold injection coming out from Makoto. It's still a bit behind Lelouch in terms of overall net worth. The Kunkka just doing it a little bit faster, of course, with max out Tidebringer. But again, rather even game. Gold lead is just kind of bouncing around. Everyone's kind of had mirror situations come out. Like both Savage and Natsumi are a little bit slower off. KP and Force are having better times. Just managing to get into that point where the build-up is there. The kill threats can start to appear. So if you're at the point where you should be able to show up, Force will low down mid.
Yeah, this could be a big one. Boat has been thrown out. It's just a defensive boat for the run, but Makoto, he's got a perfect angle for the Rolling Thunder. Still the low ground pushback is there onto Lelouch. He will survive a little bit longer. Makoto, he'll keep the chase going, and Lelouch eventually is going to drop first blood to go the way of Hyde as Savage. He even shows up in the mid lane and does find Xavius. A super early rotation from Talon on the pause 1 Void. And now there's 4 heroes in this mid lane from Talon. They haven't got a siege creep. I doubt they can push. It seems like they just wanted to make sure that mid fight went their way.
And pays off. That is some time where Savage isn't farming. So you are having a better time on Natsumi, but even then, the AoE gold kind of compensates. Natsumi's still trucking a little bit behind. He is still working onto the Mask of Madness for his bear. Phase boot's almost done, and he will TP away from that lane. He understands that not sustainable anymore. Should play bot, has a push opportunity here with Force. Talon, for their part, can also look to kind of trade top. The sidekick on Void again is pretty damn strong, but they are hunting here.
Yeah, you gets caught out. Makoto, so much damage off with one swashbuckle, and KB was there to follow up on the Marcy. So the Pulse 5 Lich is set to drop. Savage, he does get started on the top tier 1 tower in the meantime, and of course, the bottom tier 1 is going to be forced in by Natsumi. Q, the only one there to try and defend the bottom tier 1, but against Spirit Bear really can't do too much. Meanwhile, Force unable to grab him with the Pulverize, not going to be able to lock down the Queen of Pain. And it is going to be a direct tier 1 for tier 1 trade anyway. So Lone Draw, generally one of the heroes that pushes very quick, but for now it's just going to be a very even trade as mid lane. Xavier's going to get knocked down to the low ground once again by Makoto. KB is there to back him up, however, so Xavier's still in a spot of bottom of the toss back right into the Rolling Thunder. That's teamwork if I've ever seen it. Lelouch still is around with the boat. Makoto, he's going to cop the whole thing. He does get a shield crash, but it is not going to make the difference. Force holds him down with the Pulverize, and they do take out the mid-Pango.
And it's a good trade to take. You trade your support for the core of Talon. Mikado maybe just getting a little bit too far forward. Didn't manage to swash away in time. Good chain stuns coming out from Polaris' end. And that's some of the aggression we need to see from them. That's their first kill of the game. With how low their cooldowns are, wouldn't be surprised if they start lining up around that in no time here. And start buying out space that Natsumi will need. Now, Xavius also has this level 6 up. Does have the Doom ready to go with the Tranks off. He's a very speedy Doom. Not going to take him too long to gap close, although Savage really playing tag there. Does have Chrono. Again, there's not too much damage that can fly in from that.
Hyde's almost trying to bait them forward here. Maybe trying to get that Chrono expended, but of course, be able to just walk away.
Under attack.
Well, a Midas build up is here for Natsumi now, so just wanting to go the little bit of a greedier route with the Midas. Still makes perfect sense on the Lone Druid. The added attack speed always nice as well for the Spirit Bear, so you can't complain about that. It always reminds me of the meta we had way back in the day where Lone Druid would build 2 Midases on both the hero and the Spirit Bear. that wasn't it, John. Just Midas after Midas.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Just play Arc Warden if you want the little Midas, you madman. You know, that's a hero Mike loves to see.
No, I don't, John. Savage is going to get X'd up. Lauren is there. Savage, he does pop the Chrono. He's caught 2, but it's a defensive Chrono. He just wants to get out of this. Hyde, he looks like he will take the gank for the team. Chrono expended. It is still a bit more value for Polaris, but I think Talon will be okay with Savage just walking away from that.
Yeah, they're fine. They knew that if they don't pop the Chrono, Doom's gonna come out and Savage is just straight up dead. So you have to just expend that spell, back off, keep farming. Talon are a bit more fond of the slower games, and I do appreciate that Polaris understands that. And you mentioned this greed out from Natsumi. If he isn't ganked up, I mean, this greed will pay off. He already farms a lot better, a little bit lower risk as well, putting the bear in front instead. As long as the bear doesn't die with Midas on cooldown, yeah, you're pretty set here.
Lelouch X's himself back, he's going to be okay. Trying to back his way out. A 4-2 right now. Q. Bottom lane, Doom is spent with him Xavier's. Nice tonight, Makoto. Rolling Thunder's up as well if they want to expend it. It said KP's just going to move in and help out and suppose we'll get the job done. So that'll be Doom expended and they really get nothing for it.
Yeah, that's kind of funny too, because Chrono went out to stop the Doom. Xavius feels like he needs to make play, goes for the solo Doom on the pop and still gets denied off. So you kind of neutralize each other's bigger ults. In fact, it's a little bit better for Talon, because the Chronosphere is off cooldown a bit sooner. So there's not much of a threat on Savage. They're looking down mid here though.
KP, he's going to cop it. Force, he'll try to onslaught into Hyde. Does pick up the Dazzle, allowing no shallow grave to come out. So Polaris, he would have set up for a tier 1 mid tower, but Makoto is going to move in with the Rolling Thunder onto the Conker. Lelouch, he'll be locked down for a while. But where's the follow-up damage? Savage, he's going to loot it up. KP trying to help with the dispose, and now the Sonic Wave. It's going to buy some time at the X-Back. Savage is still going to drop. Polaris Polaris would not allow him to run this time.
Oh my
As
God.
Force will charge forward.
Double
He finds KP and they even got Makoto.
Dominating, Rex.
What a fight from Polaris. Great coordination from this Dire side.
They're lining up that aggression. They know they've got a lot of spells on fairly low cooldowns that they can just constantly force out. And this is where Talon's draft kind of bites them. They just don't have damage. They're gonna need farm. They need this build up on Mikado and on Savage to really have any sort of presence up in the middle of these fights. They don't have a save when someone is held down by that Pulverize. And every single time Force commits, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. You just don't have that natural stun that he did have with Nyx in the last game, where Spike Carapace would just be a massive saving spell. You just have so much more to play with. Like, you can just see the execution, the confidence of players to just go in that fight, knowing that there's nothing to stop them here.
6 now, 3k advantage for Polaris. We've seen this story before. Off to a net worth lead already is the Dire side. Once again, forced to just keep farming with that Midas into the Maelstrom build-up. We did see Talon buy plenty of time for him last time. Mind you, that was off the back of Makoto on that puck. He doesn't have said puck anymore. He's got the Pango this time around. Not as slippery of a hero and not as great at split pushing as the puck was, but it's done. Meanwhile for Polaris, I mean, Natsumi's having a really strong start on the Lone Druid. Not even top net worth yet. Force and the Kunkka is still ahead of him, but Natsumi should be able to escalate quite fast here on the Lone Druid. Continue farming up, and the Desolator build up. Especially once you have that Desolator up, those towers, they just start to melt so quick. Even quicker than they do already. So it might just be about outpacing Talon in this game number 2.
That's where the beauty of that LD pickup comes in. It can scale towards the late game, but its earlier times are just so much better than the Face's Void. The push threat is always there. And if you do want to play that slower game against the Lone Druid, well, it just grows bigger and bigger. The bear becomes a massive issue. You don't have the best burst damage on hand. The Talon's draft is sneaking around here on Polaris.
Polaris is there. He'll take the game for the team. Force, he'll still be happy to take the kill. He's more than happy for any kill right now on the Primal Beast.
Back so soon.
Knight's been doing a great job with this position though, making sure he doesn't allow the opening. Meanwhile, bottom side, Xavius. He chased down. There's an opening for Talon. Another support to be picked off. KB, he'll take that one on the Marcy. So support for support going down. A little bit more valuable here for the side of Talon. They found the POS 4 for the POS 5. But still not really anything to write home about for either side.
Yeah, not the biggest loss. Polaris just still gonna be happy. Lelouch was kind of in the firing line there. So he doesn't stay too long. He doesn't run that risk. He only leaves Xavius to kind of cop it for him. Side of Polaris, again, they're getting everything they want here, though. They're just grouping up off the back of Natsumi's bear, going for the pushes. The Desolator one part away now, and these objectives just don't last long. Talon cannot fight. Talon cannot stall in the same way as they did in Game 1, and Polaris see that opening and just play a much more aggressive game. And again, even if this game slows down at some point, you've got great scaling from the Lone Druid, you've got great scaling from Xavius, you've seen Primal Beast just be a menace with the Ag Shard and the Blink BKB, and Force is also lining up for that short here. So you have a lot of options.
They're taking towers fast here, John. That top tier 2, look at the HP pool of it. Natsumi, it's one thing as well, like you can always split push with this Lone Druid, and now Doom out, KP. He's a much bigger target to be able to pick on for Polaris, and they found him. Onslaught is there, follow up, and he's gone. That's a big one.
Does bait out the big spell, so KP in a way is buying some space here, but can't afford to lose more off the back of Q.
Get caught, Lelouch will throw the torrent boat in, times it perfectly, no blink to come out. The animation, halfway there, but not quite enough. Lelouch able to take a mega kill streak now on the mid Kunkka. Again, just such a powerful start for Polaris Esports. 6k advantage, 18 minutes into the game. They even found Makoto now. No matter available, they'll pulverize him up, and they've got the damage.
Man, you might as well save that
Force and Lelouch, they are just a menacing duo this game too.
They're running it really well. They just see this change up from game one, where in game one they took it a lot slower. This time it's just non-stop aggression, looking for pickoffs every time. Their lineup excels at that. They melt objectives fast with the space given for Natsumi as well. And there's just no counterplay this time from Talon. They take care of that issue with a puck by banning it out.
Tower is under attack.
And now Talon's stall game, it's not showing itself. Like these objectives will just melt. The map is shrinking fast. And the timings for Savage still feel a long ways off from coming online here. Polaris, I think they've managed to study that game one really well. And these are all the issues they had in game one just disappearing. And Talon needs to find a new way to gain entry in this game, but it doesn't feel like they're just working it out well enough.
Poor old Hyde. He's experienced this before. Pulverize into the turret, and now even the tidal wave is up for Lelouch. Very early shards pickup, but considering he got the BKB so early, he just picks up the shards for that added kind of pushback, the displacement on the Kunkan. Polaris, they're getting very close to a point where they can just start thinking about Roshan. Hell, they could do it right now, but it seems like they want to try for this mid-tier 2 tower, because they've got the Desolator already up on Natsumi. Look how fast this tower goes down. Glyph is forced down, they will glyph the creep wave. They want this tower real bad. And they're going to stick around for it. They're going to try and force a fight from Talon.
Just a couple of right clicks, already down to 774 HP. Going for a bit of a reset and falls back.
Back to Paul.
Talon are kind of grouped up to try to fight back here. Fusel's up in Mikado, so there's a little bit more damage output and control. And Polaris discipline themselves, look for more.
Yeah, zoom out again, KB. Trying to split push and buy that space you mentioned, John, but is going to die another time here to Xavius. And now Roshan, he can get started. They feel very confident without the pos 3 Marcy being up. The Natsumi right into the Roshan pit. And Talon, I don't think they'll even think about trying to force this fight. Hell, they might not even know what's happening.
They have no way of sneaking up as well. They take control of the bot jungle instead. Not the fastest Rosh in the world, but you have good wards to protect here on Polaris' end. That's going to be a nice Aegis to enable that high ground, enable themselves to clear out those last outer towers here from the side of Talon. Talon, they just have to play it slow. They have to wait for these BKBs to be up. At least with the BKBs, the only threat will be Doom for quite a while. So you will have more play coming out for Mikado, for KP, and Polaris will have to kind of make that choice on Xavius, but he's been pretty on point finding solo pickoffs anyway. So if Talon don't play around these BKB timings, that just kind of falls flat, and just these outer towers definitely gonna melt the Aegis up.
Not so safe, huh?
Hanging around that mid-tier 2. Polaris want to try for it. Talon, they are pushing down the bottom tier 1 tower, but that's not going to be anywhere near as valuable as what Polaris are getting out of this. And that tier 2 mid tower, it is not going to last.
Oh boy, Tire's bottom tower.
Back to very clever drafting from Polaris Esports, I'd say. Of course, the execution so far has just been perfect. They are going to smoke up, but I believe that was underneath an observer wall. So Talon should know about this 4-man smoke coming in from Polaris. However, Hyde, he is around the corner on the Dazzle. He's gonna back his way up. Polaris still looking around for someone near the base. Thing is, if they can find a big pickoff near the Radiant base, they might think about high ground this early.
There's really nothing to stop them. Like Natsumi's just in control of this game, farming up like a madman. He's gonna have a Batcher up soon on Bear. And once that's up, it's just so annoying to try to deal with it. We haven't seen Savage go for any Chronos yet as well, so you do have that tool on hand for Talon. And Talon will actually smoke up his 4. Trying to fight into the Aegis, maybe catch Polaris a bit declumped here.
Talon. And smoke up. Polaris Esports, they are still clumped up once again. They're playing this very smart, just sticking as a team, understanding how powerful they are right now. They know that Talon can't really get a team fight going their way. AU, he's going to break the smoke. They'll try to roll in on the Lich, but his team is right behind him. Do they let the Lich die for free? AU still hanging around, does get a Chain Frost off, but it only bounces onto Q. Polaris still rushing forward, looking for an X-Back on the Quap. Not going to get it. So the Lich does go down. That's about the best Talon could have got. That's a free kill, but it's not a great kill. It's just something.
Yeah, it doesn't really impact the siege that comes out here from Polaris. Do you still have a chrono ready on Savage? I'm not sure if he's even going to show up this fight. BKB is up.
They're just on the high ground, John. Look at this. Natsumi.
Jeez, Radiant's
Yeah, that's a
middle
T3
just
tower
got
gone.
wrecked.
23.5 minutes in, Polaris. They went from losing game 1 to speed running game 2.
Just playing that faster game. Again, that was their big issue.
X out, current will land, both will land as well. Shallow Grave is going to buy a little bit of time with the rock throw and the onslaught into the pulverize. Q cannot make it. The rest of Talon, they just can't think about a fight right now. You've got BKB on Savage, but do you have damage? That's the problem.
It's not quite there. Even with maxed out sidekick, you are lacking out here on Savage. And the racks, if they don't stop this, it's just gonna melt.
They've got to pop the Rolling Thunder to try and defend this. Natsumi does get hit by the stun. He got the Spirit Bear form off in time. Savage, oh, the Doom came out. Xavius, he caught the Void. No chrono available. And Makoto's going to get caught by the Pulverize. The Shallow Grave by a little bit of time. A nice Sonic Wave. Hyde actually saves the day here for the Pango. They are looking to turn this one. Lelouch also caught out. KP with a great rebound in. Force, he will be KP onslaught, but it's not far enough. Savage, he'll get the chrono eventually. Hyde has turned this one around. The Pos 5 Dazzle with the saves. It turns everything for Talon.
Just that little shallow grave at the end to enable Makoto to come back into that fight. And they also managed to throw their bodies for it to ensure Savage would still be able to come in with a chrono. It is a lot more back and forth. You know, the side of Polaris still find a lot off the map. And this is a pretty naked map now for Talon. No tier 3 down mid. Rax will just melt a neck shove in from Natsumi. But Talon are still finding a way to stall this game out. Now, it's not enough to swing this game back in any way. It's a 4K lead for Polaris. They still have majority control. They've got BKB up in Zavis. He's actually saving up for that Ags now on the Doom. So the AoE Doom is going to cause a lot of issues for what Talon wants to do here. Like, there is just no way to continuously save Savage at that point. The hide spacing has to be perfect. And they're going to have to watch themselves. I think Polaris, they're still confident. Aegis is going to expire, though. But they can at least maybe gun for that one set of racks or even just a pick-off here.
Absolutely. Polaris not going to be happy with that last team fight. We'll try again. No chrono up this time. No Sonic Wave up this time. It's an easier team fight for Polaris Esports. They'll move in. Tier 3 tower. Rather, Rax is under siege again. Rock throw is there. Makoto off the Rolling Thunder. Back it up the lone draw. They're going to try to force the fight another time with the boat. He's going to fly in. KP still going with his BKB out. It's a lot of damage onto Natsumi. He's still alive, however. He'll try to walk away. Makoto continues as well. Savage will jump in. They got Natsumi once again. The lone draw is down. They make it happen through the BKB timings, but now the turnaround with a great Train Frost. It's not enough. Shallow Grave onto KP is going to buy him a little bit of time. AU is gone. Force, he looks very gone as well. That's 2 team fights in a row to go the way of Talon. They throw their bodies at the mid-racks for a second time. They got the melee barracks, John, but they have thrown the whole net worth lead back the way of Talon. I don't know if that's worth.
It's definitely not. You know what, Mike? This takes me back. I remember now that one game in the ESL1 Genting qualifiers that Talon and Polaris played up against each other. Talon had this abysmal start. They looked absolutely terrible. It looked like KP was playing with his keyboard unplugged. And then Polaris, they have this thing with high ground. And they have this thing with high ground where they keep trying to force it sometimes, and it looked like a decent choice. The Aegis did expire, but they felt like it was risk-free. There's no chrono to worry about, and somehow Talon manages to punish them.
Ooh,
and I just get flashbacks back to Genting, because that was the kind of game where you just feel defeated. Hopefully for Polaris, you know, that's just something. This is something they can just brush off. You know, like water off a duck's back, right? Is that the word? Something like that.
Yes.
They just kind of reset. They still have this good start, but you've given Talon the way back in almost. You know, Savage isn't that far behind from Natsumi, We're reaching a point where the Void's going to be protected. He's going to work towards the Lincolns. That Ags we talked about on Xavius, it's a support Doom. It's going to take more time. He doesn't have a Midas. So then, theoretically, Polaris might want to stall the game out, but then you're stalling the game out up against Savage's Void, which is always a risk. This is Savage's most comfy hero, right up there with a Morphling. Is that really something you want to kind of poke out? Because that is something they tried in the last game, and it gets so difficult. Yeah, you do have scaling with Doom. You do have scaling with the utility on your Kunkka, especially as BKBs fade. There's still this really good blink timing coming out for Force. But boy, does it get scary. They've got to find Hyde in these fights. If they don't, the saves buys just enough time for Talon to kind of turn back in.
Hyde might need a back massage after this one, Jonathan. His back must be sore. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's kept his team in the game twice in a row now. The Polaris, they are 3k ahead in terms of net worth. They still have the advantage. Their lone druid is still the biggest net worth and the biggest hero on the map. Problem is, Savage is only 700 gold behind. It's literally the same story as game number 1. There's your smoke up. 4-man smoke here from Talon. They'll go through the Radiant Triangle into the Dire Jungle. Mind you, there's a side device up now on Lelouch. They don't know about this. It has not been revealed. Could be a bad time to smoke here for Talon. They won't find the opening they wanted anyway. And now a 5-man smoke. Here we go again. Polaris, they aren't done bagging their heads against the wall, John. They're gonna go again. Through the mid lane. Makoto, he might be the one to break the smoke. Force might see him. Makoto sees them first. Onslaught is there. Force, it's a bit too short. AU gets the gaze off with a great walk on the high ground into the rock throw. Now the chain frost. They've locked down the void. Pulverize is there. Sonic wave out. Savage, he pops his BKB. He's still fine and Xavius is gone. Now the Chrono, he's got 2 targets, or rather just the Bear and the Primal Beast, but he'll go on to Force. Onslaught away. Oh, God. Right into the loving arms of Makoto. Will get stunned up. Now they've got the Conquer. That's Lelouch gone.
Oh my God.
Not again. They have done it a 3rd time.
It's Hyde. He saves Mikado again. He's just there with the Grave, there with the flash healing from the good Juju and the Shadow Wave, and it's just enough every time for him to get off the BKB and roll back in. Polaris, this, I can't say they're out of it. Because frankly, Talon has no objectives to take. Roshan, in half a minute, respawn is going to be up, and you didn't expand Doom on Xavier. So there is still play here. No Chrono on Savage for the next fight. You have an opening on Polaris, but you have got to be careful about this kind of fight. AU drops a good ward on the high ground, and they feel like they've got this initiation. They break off the roll from Mikado. They jump in and commit, but that gave Savage free reign to jump in and out himself. And it's still not Mikado you have to catch. They've been catching Hyde before. They need to do that again. If this Dazzle stays alive, the game's just so difficult. And mind you, this is Hyde without something like the Aether Lens too.
AU, he gets for a D ward. He's caught out. Xavier's tried to jump in. They've got the lone druid, Natsumi. He was locked down by Makoto. Still is. In there goes Xavier. He is gone. On the Doom, on the Force, on the Kunkka. Everyone is melting.
Double kill.
Oh, Roshan's available as well. Polaris, what have you done? What have you done?
Oh no, they have, well, I mean, that's rough. Like, you couldn't get the Doom off on Zeus. He got silenced up in the middle of that fight as well. And now with the Aegis coming out here, likely for Savage, with a free shard to come out as well. Game's just difficult. Like, this mid set of reps, this opening on the tier 3s, it just felt like Polaris should have found more. But they haven't. They bashed their heads against that wall twice over. They forced the team fights out. Suddenly a 7k lead out for Talon. Polaris, their high ground can be nice with the Kunkka. We need to see the Doom commitment from Savis. He's almost at the Ags. He just needs a little bit more.
Look at the graph.
Oh God.
I mean, if you lose this game too as Polaris, you're gonna look back at that. You're not gonna be happy. That is. There's no other way to put it. If you lose this game, that is a throw. That is. It's. I don't want to be rude, John. I don't want to be rude. That was not how to do it. That's for sure.
No, I mean, by the graph, that is definitely... See that netward swing? Yeah. Again, this takes me back to that Genting game, Mikey, where I think it was with Otomo, and it was almost like this, except it felt even more impossible for Talon. Like, those circumstances were a lot worse. And I think Polaris still has what it takes. They've got to be able to do something like this. Ags on Xavius, 1k gold away. He can't die now.
Beating. It's gone.
No, someone's down south. Xavius, can he get away? Oh, he can. Kodo needed to press a bit more on that gas pedal. Not able to get there in time. Polaris, they're doing their best to just split push the bot lane and force the side of Talon back. They don't want to even allow them to think about high ground. Force has done a very good job down to that bot lane of keeping the creep wave forced out. They can't think about the tier 2 bottom tower either. So that outer tower objective is still going to be standing here for Polaris Esports. Talon, they'll hold on to the Aegis for another 3 minutes. Maybe just wait for Savage to have the full Mjolnir up before you want to force another fight anyway. Just about 300 gold away from having the Hyperstone to finish that one off. Already has the recipe sitting in his backpack. And then maybe you could think about forcing a fight and going high ground after.
Opens up at that point. Age is still up for quite a bit of time here on Talon's end as well. And that looks to be the full Mjolnir up. An instant smoke out from Talon. For Polaris' part, they are declumped, so they're not allowing Talon to look for these big engagements. And they are still keeping that bot shoved in. But a simple pick-off here for Talon can still kind of enable them to find more, and Natsumi. He's a prime target here.
He is. He'll TP out immediately, and they are not going to be able to make it in time. Q, he was very close. They have got the bear, though. Natsumi is actually very, very lucky there, because Q did have the Yule Scepter to cancel the TP away. His blink was right on target as well. It was just a second off.
Ooh.
Spirit Bear not going to get out. Yeah, it's going to get out as well. Very nice.
I thought return was canceled when there's damage. Did manage to get it in the nick of time, so you don't really lose out on too much. You do waste some time here from Talon's end. You waste the roll as well. So there's a bit of a window if you do manage to get that jump in. Hags for Xavius, man. 180 gold away. That's the big one. AoE Doom. That could be the beginning of the return for Polaris here once that's up.
Certainly could be. It's a great axe build up here from Xavius. If he can get it in time, he'd love it right now. 115 gold for it. Nice tidal Waveblade Lush into the Scythe of Vice. No backup though. Savage, he's fine. There's that axe you talked about. It is now available. Sun is out. Root is there. They've got Savage locked down, but there's your Shallow Grave. Hide, he's not going to allow it. You have to find this Dazzle. Savage, again, going to avoid the stun this time. Makoto, he'll go for the Rolling Thunder. Connecting on 2. They found the Conker. They've got the Conker locked down. They lose. He's in trouble. AU, he gets caught out as well. He could have helped out. They'll have to buy back. They'll have to buy back and try to defend. Not have buyback available though. The Doom is up. The Axe is up. But they don't have the buyback gold to bring it back into this game. So Talon, they can just keep going. Into the mid-racks. No chrono, but who the hell cares? You've still got the Aegis. Savage making it very hard to even get close. Do they think about the top racks?
Oh no, Dire's
It seems like they may.
Gone. Oh, Dire's top tower is under attack.
This is risky. Aegis doesn't have too long left, and respawns are coming out soon for Xavius. Still pretty scary.
Certainly is. You get it off. Maybe we'll find a Spirit Bear. Rock throw again. Savage being very, very nasty with that time dilation and the reverse time walk. It's just very hard to keep up with the man. Lelouch is the only one that can really catch him out with the X or the Scythe of Vice. Hasn't had the greatest of opportunity doing so though. And so that'll be one Rax down in the mid lane. Tier 3 towers still standing on the side lanes as well. Not too big of a deal yet for Polaris, but the bigger deal is the fact that they've committed 2 buybacks. And there's a 14k disadvantage now for this Dire team.
And if they find one good team fight on Polaris, that threat of a push is still massive. So it doesn't put them out of game yet. And again, you've still got this threat. Doom ready to go. I will say one thing as a bit of a diversion here, Mike. I saw Q queuing up the Ags in this quap. and he switches out. I mean, he's got the full Kaya Sanj, but I wanted to see that AoE that Shadow Strike with the little scream at the end. that would have been fun, but Q gets his senses together. I wish he didn't. I want to see that Ags.
It happens. I've tried the Axe personally. I think it's complete garbage, let me tell you, John, but it is, you know, it would have been fun to watch, just to see it in a pro match. Q's going to be sensible, though. He won't pick it up for now. 5-man smoke is here, though. Talon. Grouped up through the mid lane. Polaris, they'll hang around their dire triangle. They've got vision around this area, so this is the best chance they possibly have of fighting apart from their own high ground. Talon are slowly making their way over to that triangle. Polaris are waiting right underneath their own vision. Torrent is there. Drop throw is out as well. There's your Doom out. Xavius, he casts it on himself. Sonic Wave will push him away, however. Now Savage, he gets caught out. Shallow Grave, though, high. Again, gonna save the day, but can they save him through this Shallow Grave? The game's gonna hold him down. Savage is gone. That's a great start. Polaris, they'll keep trying, but Makoto, he's doing so much damage on the Pango. As KB gets caught behind, gonna save him again. Natsumi, he has been left behind on the Baron. He is taken down. AP, he'll pick up a double. They're thinking about going high ground once again, even without the Void. Who cares? It's 4 versus 1. How do you defend as Polaris? You've got no buybacks.
You can't. The one saving grace is that Megas aren't available with the tier 2 still standing bot. The one issue right now is even if you clear them all out, like Q is basically a core with his build-up. Even just jumping for solo here.
Obliterated.
Force, yeah, I mean, he's trying to get Q, but even Q's too tanky now. Force, he is buying time to protect that top racks, but it's already gone. They're just going for a free kill here onto Force. This will be the full team wipe they were looking for, and Talon will get it eventually. At least Force does have buyback, but he doesn't need to commit it yet. There is a tier 2 tower standing down that bot lane, so Talon cannot go for mega creeps. But they are 2 racks ahead and now 20k net worth lead ahead. And I don't mean to make matters worse for Polaris, John, but that was a team fight lost with the Void down. We did not see a Chrono.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the ideal circumstance, right? They get a Doom off, maybe that pushback kind of hurts them a little bit with the tidal wave and with all the spells they have changing the movement. But in the end, they get to hold on to that one hero. Again, the issue here is Talon doesn't have just 3 cores, they have basically 4. Q is just basically a semi-carry. Like Kai Sanj, the output of this plot is huge, and Q has free reign to just jump in and out. He's going towards that Ags this time, Mikey, and I hope he manages to find the gold for it. Roshan up once more. Polaris, they don't have vision in the pit. They've not been able to go near the area anytime recently. Talon are going to have another secondary life and a free Ags upgrade here as well.
Why not? I mean, the Savage, I think. Look, you could try to steal it if you want. Oh, Hyde?
No way.
Oh, he gives it to Hyde. No, you know, I like that from Savage, because Hyde's carried this game forth. But those couple team fights where Polaris were in the lead, pushing high ground, those shallow graves from Hyde over and over again, is the only reason Talon's still in this game. So Hyde, he gets a free Axe message this time. He deserves it.
I mean, he can refresh their BKBs. Right, so that's massive. Oh, easily refresh your item cooldowns. Yeah, second BKB use for Savage, second BKB use for Mikado. Heck, a refreshed Linkins could be even good here, depending on the circumstances. So there's a lot of value there. All right, let's go for it.
Okay, that's actually gonna be pretty fun to watch.
Mikado got himself stuck in the cliff and then into the tree line, had to swash away, which is why Q tipped him. Oh, he's got
obviously
gold.
Talon. The Axe? Is that what we're talking about? Don't fight. Don't fight.
No, don't listen to Mike. Follow your heart, Q. You know better.
Little rat.
By Wind Waker or something cute. Irresponsible. Tier 2 bottom tower is not going to last. Natsuki is pushing the bot lane. They do have a creep wave still down in that bot lane, so they could try and protect this creep wave through a dying glimpse if they wish. Savage, throwing it up, stunned up, tidal wave, side device. Damage is there, Natsumi trying to pump it out as force, gonna miss the onslaught, and now the chrono in the backside. Natsumi, he's caught, he did not get the bear form off in time, he is gonna die, but he has buyback. He'll commit immediately as now the Doom is out. Xavius with the chain frost, slowing down Makoto, who's underneath T4 towers for some reason. We'll buy back. Here we go again. The Doom's still going. Savage now in trouble. Has the Aegis. We'll have to expend it. That's the first time. Meanwhile, KP will rush in as the Marcy, but cannot hold down the Doom.
Oh boy, Tire's
Can you keep fighting without the Doom of the Xavius? That's the question. Because Talon, they don't seem to think they can.
Tire's bottom tower destroyed. Boy, there's some angry people beating up on Tire's bottom barracks.
Just gonna be able to clear out last set of racks. One more up top. It's just a range. Polaris, without the Doom, this team fight feels awkward.
Yeah, they go again. Lelouch is gone. No buyback. Refresh on the chrono. Savage doesn't even need it. GG is called. Polaris Esports. Oh, they were so close. They were so close to getting a game 3.